I want to answer the biggest question circulating the internet about this rifle. How well does the self-regulating gas system actually work on this rifle? So there's always a debate on which AR-15 system you should go with, whether that be piston or DI. And for majority of people, they're going to go with DI. Now, why is that? To simplify it down, the main pros of going with a piston system in 2025 is because 1, it doesn't get as dirty since a lot of the gas is expelled toward the front of the op rod, meaning less maintenance. 2, because of this operation, it doesn't get as hot while shooting. And 3, they tend to not be as picky with ammo. In other words, potentially more reliable. But for the cons, piston systems tend to be significantly heavier, have more felt recoil, and more expensive. So VKTR Industries decided to take that as a personal challenge and come out with the VK-1. This is a product that completely took me by surprise. This is a short stroke piston system that stands apart from the others in the industry, and that is because it is a self-regulating piston system. One of the biggest headaches when it comes to the AR-15 platform is the fact that you have to be mindful of the gassing of the system, especially if you were adding a suppressor. So we were first introduced to this company at Guncon 2024. There we had the chance to talk to Chris, and he was telling us about how they have over 8 patents on this design alone. We were really interested in this product as we had never heard of a design like this before, so we reached out to VKTR Industries to see if they were willing to work with us. Fast forward to November 2024, and this shows up at our local FFL. So there is your disclosure for full transparency. They sent this to us, no money was exchanged, and for the past year I have had this setup. It has seen well over 5,000 rounds now. This is a pretty sweet rifle that has a lot going for it, so let's get right into it. So the model we have here is the 10.5 variant. They also offer this 11.5, 13.7, and 16-inch. They even have a California compliant model if you lived in California. It's currently only being offered in a few different color options, that'd be black, FDE, and gray, but I'm sure they'll bring out some more options in the near future. This VK-1 is chambered in 5.56, has a weight of 6 pounds, and overall length of 30.5 to 33.1 inches. Now to highlight some of the features that make this product stand out in the industry, we're going to start with the controls. The charging handle that comes with the VK-1 is going to be the Radiant Raptor LT. Really happy it comes with this, since usually the first thing I swap out on a rifle is going to be the charging handle. In the past, they used to also come with the Radiant safety selectors as well, but as you see here, they created their own ambi selectors to match the rest of the controls, which are also fully ambidextrous. One thing I wanted to mention was actually how the bolt catch and release works. So it is fully ambidextrous. You'll see here on the left side is your traditional bolt catch and release. On the right side here, there is a button system. So you're going to use the same exact button to not only catch the bolt, but also release it as well. It's a pretty neat system. I'm actually used to seeing more like a lever system where you usually have to push it one way to catch and push it the other way to release. But this is pretty nice, pretty intuitive. You always go back to the same exact spot with your finger there, whether that be to lock the bolt back or to release it. As for the trigger is going to be a 4.5 pound single stage trigger from Hyperfire. If you know anything about Hyperfire, you know their triggers are not cheap. Normally when I get an AR-15, one of the first things I do is swap out the trigger. This one from Hyperfire has been the exception. So this is my first time actually running a single stage trigger on any of my setups ever, and I gotta say I've been liking it a lot. Very crisp and clean break, and the reset is very short. Also sitting at 4.5 pounds for the pull weight, that puts it right at that perfect amount to not only feel very safe if you're using it for duty reasons, but also let you burn it down like a competition rifle. I can run this trigger as fast as I want, and over the past year it has been 100% reliable. Next thing to mention is going to be about the bolt carrier group, the heart of the rifle. Now I already made a dedicated video talking about the nice features of the VKTR Industries bolt carrier group, and I'll link that in the description down below. But the one thing I want to highlight again in this video is the true 22.5 degree cam path, and what that does is allow the bolt to stay locked and create a moment of dwell to allow the system to dump more gas forward. In our testing, this feature actually worked and helped with some of our gassing issues, but don't just take our word for it. Tactical Considerations did a much more in-depth video on this than we did, and even he found benefit from using the bolt carrier group. So if you were in the market for a new bolt carrier group, I highly recommend that you give VKTR Industries a try. Now I don't want to spend too much more time talking about the many features of this rifle because I really want to get into how it actually performed for me in the past year. But I do want to highlight the real reason this rifle stands out in the market, and that is the self-regulating gas system. The one-piece op rod that has 6 holes on it. The first 3 are used to operate the entire system, while the remaining 3 are used to bleed off any excess gas. So that's basically how the system works. It's advertised to adapt to any configuration that you set up your rifle to. So that wraps up basically all the highlights I want to talk about with this rifle, and now let's segue into how does this actually perform for me in the past year. For our initial impressions, it's probably easier just to show you the video clips of us first taking out to the range and actually putting some rounds through it.
Hey, oh my god.
How was that recoil?
I love this.
Like, that's why I shot so much.
Dang. This is so easy to stack shots. Holy cow.
A1 has. What the?
He's so surprised.
So for the first 1,000 rounds, it's basically set up exactly how the configuration is right now. I do plan to make a full in-depth video breaking down this rifle in the future. Leave a comment down below if you feel like you want that video to come out a little sooner than later. But I did want to show that I added a Huxworks 762 Ti suppressor onto here, as a suppressor tends to be the one thing that actually changes the gassing in your rifle. Now before the people in the comments come after me, yes, I know that the Huxworks is a flow-through suppressor, and it is really not going to affect the gassing much, if at all. And in my testing, after the initial 1,000 rounds, I spent the next 1,000 rounds using a non-flow-through suppressor. You may recognize the ROC 556 from Siege suppressors that Zach runs on his current build. That is absolutely not a flow-through can, and even he has had issues with it constantly being overgassed to the point where he had to obtain an adjustable gas block in his system. Alright guys, so bringing the Vector VK-1 back out to the range here. One thing you notice, I actually got a different suppressor on there. The only thing you'll see usually when VKTR Industries actually markets this firearm is that they tend to always have a Huxworks flow-through can on it. This is actually mine right here. The one I swapped on there is going to be Zach's Siege suppressor, ROC 556. We did a review on this in the past, so be sure to check that video out. But if you did watch it, you would know this is actually a pretty gassy can, just a traditional one. So we're curious to see how the self-regulating gas system actually does with a traditional suppressor, not just a flow-through like you see when they market this firearm. So, all right, so we'll give it a try here. First shots with the traditional suppressor. Will it run? Definitely cycled. Definitely noticeably more gas coming out of the ejection port. Me shooting it, I feel just the tiniest bit of gas on my face, very little. Compared to Zach's PSA build before he got the bulk carry group and the adjustable gas block, that was significantly more gas when being right here. Just doing one shot at a time, I don't feel it, but as soon as I go up to do more, I definitely feel just a little hit my face. But you actually can see the aggressive ejection pattern. It's definitely overgassing the system.
Dude, that was actually really pleasant. Kind of jealous. This VK-1 actually works.
I missed. I can't double tap. Same thing that Brand said, definitely just a little bit more gassy than the free flow. It's definitely not as bad as the DI system untuned, or basically any cheap gun with a suppressor just thrown on it.
You're not like gasping for air though, right?
No, you're not gasping for air.
Other ones that are super over gas, you tend to be shooting it and you're like gasping for air because you're just so much like gas in your face. This one, like, you feel it, but it's not enough to like strangle you. So there it is. I want to answer the biggest question circling the internet about this rifle. How well does the self-regulating gas system actually work on this rifle? Now obviously your results are going to vary depending on the suppressor you decide to add to your rifle, but in our experience with the ROC 556 and going off the ejection pattern, it does appear to be a bit overgassed. So the self-regulating gas system cannot solve all the gassing issues you may face. It does have its limitations. But comparing it to a regular DI rifle, we all agreed this still performed very well. Very little gas in our face. We were still impressed with it personally, and it still ran 100% reliably over the next 1,000 rounds of use with this suppressor. Also something to note is that all VK1s currently come with a carbine buffer, and after confirming with Eric over at Vector myself, you absolutely can put in a heavier buffer if you really want to try to chase for that proper 3 to 4 o'clock ejection pattern. As for the last 3,000 rounds, I've been running it in all my courses using whatever cheapest ammo I can get. I've also ran it in competitions, taken classes, it's taken brass, steel case, and it pretty much just follows the saying, if it seats, it eats. I took it to Ohio Range Day this past September and took a course with Billy Barton from Spec Train Performance. For all of our rifle drill videos, you see this rifle featured in it, and you will continue to until I start running into any issues that I find. And if you want to know when I do, be sure to follow us on Instagram, as we tend to post on there whenever we get updates on anything we are testing. Side note that I wanted to mention for full transparency is that I did have an issue within the first 500 rounds, somewhat of a user error, but I actually had my bolt catch pin come loose without myself noticing it, and it got lost while I was at the range. Now, it's not usually a big deal, but unfortunately for that day, we were filming a video that required a bolt lock reload, and obviously I couldn't do that without a pin to hold it in. Reached out to Vector's customer service, and they were top notch, sent me out a new pin immediately, and had it in my mailbox in 3 days. Now, that was probably just a small QC oversight, but nonetheless I wanted to mention it to you all anyway. To wrap up my thoughts on this rifle, I would say it has been nothing but dependable. It has outperformed almost all the other rifles and that we have come across in our group, and without a doubt, it has been the most reliable. Vector Industries really knocked it out of the park with this one. They did an excellent job trying to solve all the issues that traditional short stroke piston rifles have versus direct impingement. Now, the VK-1 does come in at about 22 to 2300 credits, but for what you get compared to other rifles out there on the market, this is absolutely one you should check out. Now, that's all I have for you guys today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification to stay updated with our content, make new videos every single week. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out our Patreon. Or if you can't help support that way, you can also hit the hype button down there. That way we can get this video flowing through the algorithm. Also, if you like what you saw today, don't forget to share it with your friends, and we'll see you guys in the next one.